Alright guys, welcome back. This is day 11. Day 11? I don't even know. I think it's day 11. Of Road to 10k. I think it... let me just check really quickly. Sorry, I should start, like, preparing, like, before my streams. I'm really not prepared. Yeah. It's day 11. Yeah. Yeah. This thing's really tweaked me out though, because this... Wait, when was my last stream? This is day 8, but why does it say day 8 for? 9th. This should be... Wait, I'm so lost. This is so bad. That's start of Six Figure Fusion. Day 8. That's wrong there. Day 8 is on the 10th. I gotta make sure I get these dates right. I'll go over it off stream as well and look at it. Wait, 9th? Yeah, okay. I think we're fine. 10th, day 8. 11th, wait, no. 10th. Wait, no. Wait. Wait, what the fuck am I doing? Day 7, the 9th. Day 8, the 10th. So it should be day 9, the 11th. And then, yeah, okay, that makes sense now. And then I really didn't stream like at all on day 10. I stated why in the video. Basically, I just went out with some friends, and that was on the 12th. Yeah, and so on this day. But anyway, this brings us, we might as well go down to the next page. This brings us to day 11. On the 13th today, is it? It is the 13th, yeah. And yeah, I thought we would just get into it. For context, I came back from training like probably 30 minutes ago. Probably a little bit longer, probably like 40 minutes ago, if I'm being honest. But the time is 9:39 p.m. Thursday, the 13th of November, and we're gonna get to it. I gotta do some weekly reflection on this, by the way, as well. We're on 1.3 and we're 11 days in. I feel like this is bad. You know what? Hold on. I feel like if we really grind, okay? If we really grind, like genuinely, like we hit a 12-hour stream one day on like Friday night. We get through. I want to try get through the entirety of one point of week 1 in 14 days, which sounds bad, but yeah, it is what it is. Let's get into it. Again, I will be making notes on my other screen. Alright, I need to actually do my... Oh no, I did. No one. Okie dokie. I hope my mic's okay. I hope I'm not too loud or too quiet. Like, I don't want to be really loud if I'm breathing or something. You don't want to hear my voice. I mean my breathing. Hold on. Okay. Wait, what? Okay, I'm wasting time. I'm sorry.
I read that book once every 6 months, and I have done for the last probably 10 years now.
There you go.
Because happening, I can't remember. Visit still every 3 months. And I'm not joking. It's like 20 hours of training and books and stuff that I reread continuously. Like one thing I use to work on my mindset is Discourses by Epictetus. It's a book by a Stoic philosopher, transcribed by a historian called Ari.
Hold on. I'm gonna look at my phone just before I put it down and away, because currently it is on my desk. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go for pretty much as long as we can. I'm not even setting a fucking timer or anything. Maybe we'll just get through the entire video. Honestly. Bomb through it, get 1.9.
And I read that book once every 6 months, and I have done for the last probably 10 years now. Because, God, I do not want to forget it. I would rather learn the right thing and not forget it than try and learn a bunch of new stuff. Like, once you have what you need, which is what this program is, you don't need to learn more stuff. Like, learning is procrastination a lot of the time, okay? Like, don't get me wrong, you always want to be learning, you want to be finding new things, but this program gives you everything. So stop trying to learn all this crazy stuff. Stop reading 50 books and listening to 20 podcasts. Just find the right stuff and just remember it. And that's how I've always operated. Throughout my business career, I've had one mentor, one single point of knowledge. And that mentor's programs and resources, they haven't been updated for years now. And I go back to them and I rewatch them and I remember them, and obviously I can translate it to you guys.
I might hear a bit of background noise, and I don't want that for you guys.
So this is with the mindset training. So what's going to happen is, and I can predict this very well, and then I'll move on, I promise, because I'm rambling on about this, but it's very important. You're going to go through the foundational modules. You're going to go through the mindset training. That's going to give you a massive heap of motivation. You're going to have a huge wave of discipline, a huge heap of motivation. You're going to start becoming an expert. You're going to start reaching out to clients, doing sales calls, and maybe signing a couple of clients. Then what's going to start to happen is, over time, you're going to kind of fall off a little bit and falter. And that's because you're going to have forgotten the mindset training. The mindset training is the catalyst for you to become successful, because it's going to give you that massive spike of motivation and that massive spike of, I can do this, that encouragement, right? And you need to go back to the mindset training, which is the week 2 training, and probably these videos as well, every 3 months. Promise me, like every 3 months, until it's drilled into you, until you no longer taper off, you have to go back and rewatch all this stuff, okay? And the mindset training is in the next week, and the Sales Transcendence Mindset Training, week 2. So the chances are, is you've tried things before to become successful and make money online. So maybe this isn't your first rodeo. Maybe you've tried something else before Imperium Academy. And the chances are is that it didn't work. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. And you're going to be telling yourself things like, oh, it didn't work for me, or that niche didn't work, or that business didn't work. Like, you know, oh, maybe you've tried drop shipping before, right? Or maybe you've tried any of these other online business models and it didn't work. And so, you know, you're like, oh, it didn't work for me. That niche doesn't work, or that business just sucks, doesn't work. Well, here's some harsh truth. First of all, it didn't work for you. You are the problem. Telling me that it didn't work, like, you know, people say this where like, well, I've tried this business model and it doesn't work. I'm like, why doesn't it work? They're like, well, I didn't get results. It's like, well, somebody else got results. So it's a you problem, right? The second thing is it didn't work in the ridiculously short time period you gave it. Like, oh, the restaurant niche, it just sucks. It doesn't work. Well, how long were you in the restaurant niche for? I tried it for 3 months. Like, dude, try it for a year. Like, you know, because this is the thing. It's like, it takes time. Like the first 3 months, you're not going to see anything. The first 6 months, nothing. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll be, you know, crazy about it and you'll get, like, it's possible. We've had people in Easy Grow go from 0 to like 50K a month in 3 months, but most of you it won't. And then also, you just didn't give it the time it needed to create the effect. You put a cause into motion and you cut it off before it could create the effect. You heathen. Give it time, okay? So you need to be reminded, just want to format this properly. So you need to be reminded way more than you need to be taught, okay? Your life is the sum of every decision and action you've ever made or taken, okay? But up until now, you didn't realize because you've just forgotten what you did. And the lesson here is to stick to it, okay? This is why I'm telling you this, is I'm imploring you to stick to this thing. Stick to the training, stick to the business model, stick to the niche that you pick, stick to the problem you try and solve, etc. You must give these variables and decisions time. It only works with time. The real issue that you're all going to have is you're all impatient as fuck. You're all on short form content. You're all addicted to junk food. You're addicted to gaming and pornography and, you know, self-improvement as well as another addiction, whether you like it or not. It's a good one though, I suppose. But like, chances are you have some weird behaviors and addictions that have wired your brain for instant gratification. And the definition of business is delayed gratification. Like right now, your brain expects everything you do to provide immediate dopaminergic reward instantaneously. And if you're the kind of person that's been playing video games, or if you're the kind of person that's been watching short form content, or eating junk food, or playing, like, just doing stupid stuff, like your brain, it can't tell the difference between business and a video game, or it can't tell the difference between business and TikTok. It's a universal comprehension mechanism, which means that it will expect immediate instantaneous reward from everything you do. And that's fine, but you just need to be aware of it. Like, first of all, cut those behaviors out, man. But like, it's so hard to stick to things that aren't giving you immediate dopaminergic reward, because you're used to getting that everywhere. So this is why these behaviors are so damaging, and they really hurt you and your business success, because they stop you from sticking to things. And it's no wonder why. Like, let's say you spent the last, like, I don't know, like, let's say that right now you're 20 years old, and let's say that you got a gaming computer and a phone when you were 14. You've spent the last 6 years conditioning your brain to instant gratification and immediate reward. And what that means is that everything you do, you expect it to happen right now. And so, you know, you pick a niche and you pick a problem, and then you get to work, and then 2 months elapses and you haven't got a client yet, and there's problems and it's painful. And then you're like, oh, this sucks, I'm going to switch. And you go and pick something else, and then you do this, and then 2 months elapses, and then it's not working. And then all you guys are doing is just hopping between business models, niches, and problems. And you're not giving the universe the time it needs to compound the effect that you want. Like, you're putting the cause into motion by picking and deciding and getting to work. But every time you switch niche, every time you switch business model, every time you change the problem you're trying to solve, you reset the cause back to zero. And this is why no one is successful in this day and age. It's because we've wired our brains to instant, immediate dopaminergic gratification, and we cannot comprehend that it doesn't work like that in business. Okay? Really, really, really important. So I want to give you a couple of action items here, okay? So what I want you to do right now, I'm just going to bring this up. What I want you to do right now is a couple of things. First of all, I want you to schedule in your calendar. So if you haven't got a calendar, you should get one. Google Calendar, or something like
Yeah, I was about to say I'm gonna use Google Calendar for this one.
that. Schedule a rewatch of the Foundations week and the Mindset week 3 months from now, and have that schedule reoccur every 3 months until you hit your goal. This is honestly like, because I'm giving you what you need, and I'm going to continue to give you what you need. But if you forget it, it doesn't matter. The only way you're going to stop forgetting it, the only way I'm going to stop you from forgetting it, is by you rewatching it over and over again. And so what I want you to do now is this: schedule it. Okay? I promise you, if you do not do this, if you do not schedule this in and actually do it, because I'm telling you to do something here and you need to do it, if you don't do this, then you will forget what you learn. It's inevitable. Like, every piece of information.
Yo, I have an idea, by the way. In my Google Doc, for stuff that I need to do, like absolute non-negotiable, I think I might highlight them. So just to make sure, if I'm just going through all this stuff, I'm gonna hear, boom, big red thing, probably means something. So yeah, I thought that might help, but
That enters your mind and your memory has.
I'll obviously put it in a Google Calendar as well. Okay. So 3 months from now. Oh wait, what? This is not Google Calendar. Oh, yeah, it is. So 13th next month. No. So November, December, January, February. So the 13th. Is it the 13th? Am I stupid for saying it's the 13th? Yeah, it is. So November, January, February. No, November, December, January, February. So 13th of Feb. Bosh. That's not Wait, hold on. Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah. Okie dokie. For like 9 a.m. Re-watch. Boom. Yup. Okay.
Has what scientists would call a half-life, which means it degrades over time. And if you don't top it up and remember it until it becomes part of you and your identity, then you're done for. And if you forget what you learn, then you're going to quit and you're going to switch and you're going to make this fatal mistake. Right now, this makes sense to you. Right now, you get it. You see it clearly, and you know you're I'm not going to make this mistake. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to do what Charlie says. But remember, this is information, and right now, it's very strong in your memory. 6 months from now, you'll have forgotten it, okay? And when you come back to watch these videos every 3 months, it will completely perplex you as to how much you've forgotten and how much you had to remember. And I still do this with certain videos from Sam, my mentor. I'll still go back and watch old videos that I forgot, and I'm like, shit, how the hell did I forget this? I've been watching this video every 3 months for like 7 years now, and I still forget it, you know? So the second action item is to print this off and pin it up above your workspace and do not forget it. So what I've done here is create a little screenshot that says, remember to remember. Now there's one
Wait, yeah, we're way past this. Wait. What about? Okay. Let me print this off. Print. Ah, shit. Why don't? Wait, do I have paper? I hope I do. Wait, what? borderless printing was changed from on because complete. What does that even mean? Alright, I'm gonna check if it's printing really quick. Give me a sec. Okay, I am back. I did print it off. We have got it. I have a pretty good place for it as well. What even am I? Where's the school thing gone? What is it? Okay.
One thing to remember, it's to remember, okay? So this is available in the resources section to download. If you can't see it there, obviously it's on the PDF that will be available in the resources section as well, which is obviously Six-Figure Fusion. You know, take a screenshot, download this, whatever, and then just print it off in color if you can. If not, don't worry. Or if you haven't got a printer, then put this on your desktop background, okay? Like put it on your computer background and never forget this, please. I know I've just spent the last, like, I don't know, God knows how many minutes rambling about the same thing over and over again. It's for a reason, all right? So don't put these on a to-do list. And tell yourself you do them later. Don't be an idiot, right? Don't be like, oh yeah, I'll print this off in a minute and then I'll schedule this later, because you won't. All right. So yeah, if you
should I change the desktop background as well? It's a McLaren at the moment. This is for context. This is probably one of my dream cars. A McLaren. I think this is a 720S. But I would like to. A little unrealistic dream, right? Is to get a 570S for my first car, because they're like stupidly cheap as well. Yeah, I just looked one up. Not stupidly cheap, but for a McLaren, hey. The fact that you can purchase a McLaren for 67 grand is you know. Will it load? Maybe. 2015 McLaren 570S. Probably unreliable as hell, but hey, it's got the doors. It's got the like fast. The interior is quite meh. But hey, listen, having a McLaren is just having a McLaren. Can't really do much of it. This is a 2019 one. These ones are nice. These ones are like, yeah. But anyway, let's stop looking at cars that I am very, very far from affording. And let's change the background. I think I'll take a screenshot of it really quick.
Like, pause the video right now. If you haven't got a printer.
Oh wait, no, I can just literally get it. Oh wait, yeah. Okay. Alright. Wait, I'm just close my thing for a sec. Just so I can pull up my my folders and stuff about. How do I change it, man? Am I How do you change your background again? Why is this? Why? Oh, am I struggling with such a simple flipping task? Oh, background. There you go. Picture, browse photos. Aha. Here we go. This is looking more like it. Hey. I like it, I like it. Has it done both of them? Oh, it has. Oh, yeah. Well, nice. Let's carry on.
Then put this thing on your desktop background. Or maybe do both. Probably do both. And if you haven't got a calendar, then go and create one. Google Calendar.
I've got my calendar.
And put in an event every 3 months, and schedule it out for like a whole day to rewatch week 1 and week 2 of the Imperium Academy. And I know you haven't even watched week 2 yet, but I know that when you do, like, that will change your life. But you have to remember, like, this is the quote, and then I'll move on, I promise. Information can only change your life for as long as you remember it. Okay? So that's that.
Whoa, wait, hold on. Where's my Google Doc? What the hell? Bro, what? Okay, never mind then. It better have saved. Flipping better have. Open. Oh dear. Okay, nice, it did. Okay. Nice.
This is the quote, and then I'll move on, I promise. Information can only change your life for as long as you remember it. Okay? So that's that. So, okay. Now that we've moved on from that ramble, exponential distribution. Why are some people extremely rich, but others extremely poor? Why does the top 1% of people own 50% of wealth in the world? Why do the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? Like, you've heard this quote before, right? Like, the rich get richer. You've heard the top 1%, they own half the world. Well, why? Why is the distribution of everything so unfair and biased towards a small group? Like, and more importantly, what can we do about it? Because if we know that the top 1% owns 15% of the wealth in the world, like, how do we join them? And I can tell you, being in this is pretty damn cool, So let's talk about it. Why is it the case that some sports people are Olympic gold medalists, but others are just normal amateurs? Like, the difference between like Michael Jordan and you, like, let's say that you've been playing basketball for a year and you're all right at basketball, but then you take Michael Jordan, like, in his heyday, like, the difference is like night and day. It's like you're not even a basketball player anymore. Like, why is it that some artists are world class whilst others can't make a living? Why is it that some people are billionaires, but other people are thousands of dollars in debt? Why do some consultants get incredible results, but others mediocre? Like, why does this happen? In other words, why are some people great and others just average, good or bad? Well, if you want to become great and you want to become wildly rich and successful, then we need to kind of answer this question. Because if you don't know what makes great, then you're either going to be average, good or bad. And good isn't even that good. It's just, you're going to like Like most people think that like good is like 100 grand a year. Like that's considered a very, very good salary for most people. By the way, I apologize if you can hear my squeaky chair squeaking in the background. But anyway, moving on. So like, people think that 100 grand a month, 100 grand a year is good. And like, sure, it is compared to most people, but like, I mean, I've made like 100 grand in a day before, and like, it's possible, I can tell you that. So why would you want to make 100 grand a month, or 100 grand 100 grand a year when you could make 100 grand a month or 100 grand a day? Like, you know, there's a big difference between great and good. And maybe you're happy with 100 grand a year. Like, that's absolutely fine. Like, if that's what your goal is, and you know, which it probably is right now, like it's a lot of money, and you can live a very, very happy life with that. But there's some people that make like 100 grand a minute. Like, I heard this statistic once that Bill Gates, if he dropped $1,000 on the floor, he wouldn't bother to pick it up, because in the time that he had like gone down to pick it up, he would have made that $1,000 back. And this was obviously when Microsoft's stock was soaring, right? But you get the point. So this is how it works. Like 80% of people, you know, get 20% of the results, and 20% of people get 80% of the results. Like, why the hell does this happen? You know, people think this is unfair. And, you know, a lot of people, as I'm sure you've seen on social media these days, they complain about the mega rich owning everything. They're like, oh, tax the rich, and, you know, like the rich get richer, and like screw rich people, like Mr. Burns this and Mr. Burns that, you know, from The Simpsons. It's evil dude that's like really rich and stuff. Like, a lot of people think that like financial and economic inequality is unfair, and I understand why. But to figure this out, we need to understand the 80-20 principle. And this is also known as the Pareto principle. Now, the 80-20 principle is basically a universal phenomenon. You might have heard of it before, Brownian intelligence points if you have. But it's a universal intelligence, there we go. It's a universal phenomenon, not a universal intelligence, whereby 80% of effects come from 20% of the causes. So this is also known as the vital few effect. But basically, the Pareto principle creates an unequal relationship between inputs and outputs. And the Pareto principle basically explains why this happens, why things go exponential, and why life is so unfair, at least in the human eyes. So some examples. So 80% of wealth is owned by 20% of people, and 80% of customers buy from 20% of businesses. 80% of traffic can be found on 20% of the roads. 80% of food is produced by 20% of the farmers. 80% of work is done by 20%. I mean, you get the point, right? News coverage, you know, 80% of the news coverage is based on 20% of the world's events. 80% of financial hatred is attributed to 20% of the billionaires. There's a lot of billionaires in the world, but there's only like a select few of them that get any hatred, right? 80% of your wardrobe is worn 20% of the time, you know, and then the same thing, like 80% of Earth's population lives in 20% of the countries. And 80% of the country's population lives in 20% of the states, in like the US, for example. And 80% of the population of a state will live in 20% of the cities inside the state, and so on, right? So this occurs everywhere. Wherever there's like an input and an output, or a cause and an effect, like at least one that we can measure numerically, like, for example, you know, 80% of the traffic jams occur during 20% of the daytime. So, you know, between like 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., which is when everyone's going to work, and between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. when everyone's leaving work. That's like, you know, 2 hours a day. That's what, like 10, 20% of the day where 80 or 90% of the traffic's going to happen. And this occurs everywhere. And like, why does this happen? Why is cause and effect? Why is it unfair? Like, you know, why do some people get filthy rich and other people are filthy poor? Like, why does that happen, right? Well, it happens in nature too. Because in the natural world, 80% of the fish live in 20% of the oceans, or at least species-wise. And in a forest, you'll find that 80% of the sunlight is absorbed by 20% of the plants, you know, the ones that are at the top. And, you know, in like a gorilla colony or any sort of, you know, group species that lives together, 80% of the mates or the females will go to 20% of the males. And, you know, not to be too controversial, but this is kind of the same thing with humans, right? 80% of the food is consumed by 20% of the species. You know, 80% of health issues are experienced by 20% of people. So I'm sure you know, like maybe one person, and they just seem to be riddled with every single health issue under the sun. Like, where there's one, there's many. Like, what the hell's going on here? 80% of the rain in the world falls in 20% of the countries. And my favorite example, which was actually found by Pareto, the guy who came up with this theory, he had like some pea pods in his garden, and he found that 80% of the peas that he could yield from his garden came from 20% of the pods. And the other thing that he observed, that the actual story, is he was doing like an analysis on the land ownership in Italy, because he's Italian, and he found that like 20% of like people, like landlords, owned 80% of the land. And then he just started seeing this thing everywhere, and it really is everywhere. Like this is like a law, it's like a force of nature. Okay, like I can guarantee right now that you guys watching this program, 80% of the results we get in this program will come from 20% of the people who go through it. And you know, let me just pray that you're one of those 20%, which I'm sure you will be. So complaining about the mega rich owning a disproportionate amount of wealth is like complaining that a certain ocean has more biodiversity than the rest. It's just nature. Okay, so I know people think it's unfair, and I know people get mad about the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, but it's just the way the world works. Like, it doesn't matter how offended you get or how badly your ego is damaged. Getting upset at this is just like getting upset at like a lion eating a gazelle. Like getting angry about that. Like, oh, fuck that lion, like eating that. Like, what did that gazelle do to that lion? Like, it's just nature. It's just the way the world works. And you know, you might not like it. Maybe you hate this premise, like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Maybe you think it's evil to, you know, accumulate money. And if you do, then you're in trouble because, well, you're never going to make it, because behaving out of alignment with something you believe to be true is very tough. But, you know, maybe you think it's not fair. Maybe you think that people should be more equal and like money should be more distributed equally. And maybe you think that communism's a good idea. And I mean, that's a whole rabbit hole we're not getting into because I'm not going there. But you get the point, right? It's nature. You know, we are biological machines. Like, you know, we like to think that we're all developed and stuff as humans, but really we're just an extension of nature. And our economic machine, which is basically the economy, is a manifestation of the natural world. Like, the economy kind of works the same way that like a jungle does. Like, you've got competition, you've got supply and demand, you know, you've got scarce resources, you've got all sorts of things that, you know, you'd see in like a jungle or a forest or a certain microbiome. The same laws that govern that biome or that jungle or that environment naturally will seep over into the way the economy works and the way that we make money. So it's the same. So imagine complaining that 20% of countries get 80% of the rainfall. Like, oh, this rainfall system is corrupt, and you know, the rainfall matrix is out to get us, and the rainfall system is rigged. I demand high rainfall countries move their borders so low rainfall countries get more rainfall. Like, complaining about the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, like it's the same thing. I know that you could make the argument like, oh yeah, but there must be a way to fix it. It's like, yeah, sure, you and whose army? What, Stalin's? That's not going to go very well. Millions and millions and millions of people are going to die. And that's what happened in communist Russia and Mao's China. Like, we've tried to level out in the 20th century. We've tried to level out financial equality, and it's resulted in the deaths of tens of millions of people. Because you can't fight nature. You just can't. Okay? Stupid. So when a phenomenon such as this, the 80-20 principle, is so common and apparent literally everywhere, it means that there must be a natural law somewhere to explain it. So there's a law, there's a rule, and if we can uncover this rule and understand it and line ourselves up with the way the natural world wants to manifest, then goddamn, we can do some damage. We can really, you know, achieve some success here. There's no point in getting angry at 80-20. You can't beat it. Like, don't waste your energy. Like, getting angry at the 80-20 principle is like getting angry at a rock. You're not going to change anything. Like, the rock doesn't care about you or your feelings. So, like, you can't, like, it's not going to change, you know, unless, sure, you can, like, throw it and try and break it and stuff, but besides the point. You can't beat 80-20. You can't beat it, nor can you demand the world change for you, but you can use it and join the winning side. So if you're the kind of person that has always complained about the rich getting richer, you know, like, yeah, they do. And you can either be bitter about it and complain and do nothing, or you can just get rich. And then you can use that money that you've made to give to charity. and help poor people. This is something I just do not understand with this argument. Like, the rich get richer, yes they do, so figure out how to get rich, and if you really care about poor people, get rich so you can help them. That's how you help them, because any other way is not going to work, because you're fighting actual law of nature. It's just like, it's the same thing as trying to fight natural selection. You can't. Like, I want to stop evolution. I want to stop gravity. Like, you can't. You have to behave in alignment with these things no matter how much they upset you. I'm offended at this gravity thing. Like, do you know, like, if I jump off this building, I'll die? Like, this gravity system is corrupt. I demand that gravity is removed. Like, you wouldn't say that about gravity, because that's just stupid. And the same thing is true with the 80-20 rule. And just because there's some emotional dregs attached to the application of making money doesn't make me wrong. So feedback loops. Like, why on earth does this happen? How can there be such a massive discrepancy between input and output? Why is this so asymmetric? Like, how does this happen? What the hell's going on here? Well, it's all about feedback loops. So cause creates effect. And when the effect of a cause feeds back on itself to create more cause that caused it, then there is more cause causing more effect again and again on repeat. And this is a feedback loop. So the cause creates the effect. The effect...
I can't even lie, I'm not taking any of this in. I don't know how to factory reset my brain. But I don't know. This is disappointing. Fuck, I don't know.
then feeds back on its...
I don't know. I feel like it's bad. It's even worse me watching these videos and not taking it in. Like, I just feel like there's no point.
Self to create the cause, and because we...
I could get some like coffee going or something, but bro, I can't be drinking coffee at like 10 o'clock at night. I won't sleep.